Hi, my name is Milton Williams. I'm Chair of the Conflicts of Interest Board. I'm here with the other board members as well as members of the staff, and we're going to enter into the public meeting phase of today's meeting, that being September 28th, 2023. Go right ahead.
Thanks, Milt. So Catherine Miller, the special counsel, is going to be the recording secretary, and Deputy General Counsel Chris Hammer is going to provide some introductory remarks, and then we'll open it up for discussion.
In the 4 years since the board fully revised Chapter 2 of the board rules, the procedural rules for enforcement actions, enforcement staff has identified small fixes to continue to improve the enforcement process. Some of these proposed amendments are substantive, such as applying the procedures contained in Chapter 2 to the enforcement of intentional violations of the annual disclosure law. Others are procedural, such as reordering closing statements at an oath hearing to follow standard trial practice. And finally, some are clarifying edits, such as to use more descriptive language in the headers. With the board's approval and any edits, the proposed rules will be submitted to the Law Department and Mayor's Office of Operations. If they have any substantive edits, it will return to the board before a public hearing is noticed in the city record.
Any questions or comments?
I've got just a couple.
Okay.
And by and large, I think this looks terrific, and these are almost just well, I'll go through a couple of them. I'm working off Exhibit 1 with the track changes, and I'm on page 5 of that. And the very last bit at the bottom, that would be C2 on page 5 of Exhibit 1. It talks about, it used to talk about the enforcement attorney, and now it talks about all the parties. And as it reads now, it seems to say to me that you can make these communications with the board regarding ministerial matters or on the consent of the respondent's representative. So the way it reads now, it says the respondent's representative could communicate with the board on consent of the respondent, right?
Yes, so I think consent of the other party.
Yeah.
Consent of both parties.
Whoever makes, whatever, the opposing party maybe.
Yeah.
Yep, the opposing party, that's it, yeah. Okay, we'll make that edit.
Perfect.
Okay, this other one, I'm just for the record, I'm going to abandon the notion of where the word "only" ought to be placed. That's a grammatical matter that I can't even do in conversation. So, but on page 7, again, Exhibit 1, that final review by the board. It's just a question. The second line, it's all documents introduced. I noticed earlier you changed introduced to admitted, and I don't know whether it was intentional here to make it all documents introduced, or whether you wanted it to be all documents admitted, or whether it should be all documents admitted.
Where are you? Page 7?
Page 7 of Exhibit 1, Milt.
Yeah, what?
It's a final review.
By the board at the top of the page?
No, it's
Middle?
we're Exhibit 1, right?
Okay.
Right. And it says, the board will review the oath report along with the original transcript of the hearing and all documents introduced, and I'm just questioning whether that word should be admitted rather than introduced, because I noted earlier you changed it. I don't know the answer, so I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, it should be admitted. So we'll
Should be
I
admitted?
think, yeah, I mean, because those are the only records, I mean, the evidence that's actually being used. So,
But that's the answer, right?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So we'll make that fix too.
That's all I got.
Anyone else? I've got one actually. In our continuing effort to try to improve the rule, we in fixing the order of closing arguments. So this is page 6 of Exhibit 1, F4. We have this sort of, we use the word "if" in a way that I think makes it a little confusing. It makes it sound like closing arguments would be in a particular order if they were oral, but not if they were written. That was not the intention. The order should be the same either way. So in order to fix that, it requires a little bit of wordsmithing. Here's my shot at that. It would be closing statements may be made orally or in writing. respondent or respondent's representative will make a closing statement first, after which the enforcement attorney will make a closing statement. Written closing statements may not exceed 30 double-spaced pages. That
fixes it.
work? Okay, great. So, any other questions, concerns?
Pretty straightforward.
Okay, then a motion to take this to a public hearing after review by the law department and mayor's office of operations.
So moved.
Second? And all in favor?
Aye.
Great. Okay, so that is what we shall do. And that should conclude the open meeting.